Awesome. Welcome, one and all, to another game of Las Vegas by Night. It's been a long wait, everyone. I'm sorry to say. We've all had our own little issues pop up here and there, but now we are finally back. And now we have some new people in the game with us as well, including the illustrious and very much everywhere for a seven, and the famous and also illustrious Derek. Introduce yourselves, guys.
Oh, hello.
Uh, Derek,
What,
can you hear us?
what is it that you wish to know about me?
Just like to give a bit of detail about your character, just like basic summary.
Oh, I don't like to give too much about myself. I'm well traveled. I'll say that much.
Okay. Derek, are you coming through?
Yep. Hi, I'm Derek. I am the stage musician in residence at the Paris Casino. So I've been doing a little bit of magic, and I'll be performing 3 shows a night.
All right. And they'll be joining along with Vander and Dream at some point in the story as we continue to go into the mysterious Las Vegas murders. So, as a recap, we're going further into the story of the murders that happened in that alley that one fateful night. They're being tailed constantly, or rather, they keep on coming across the mysterious detective Cody Fairfield, was revealed to have defenses against the supernatural, specifically vampires, in which Dream had found a silver cross on his person. Since then, they've been in close contact with the sheriff's agents, specifically Kendall Smith and Benjamin Howell, aka Little Benny. The two are offering as much as they can to the party to try and solve the murders, but as far as we can tell, there's not a lot of evidence, and up until they can get in contact with the morgue where the body is, probably won't get that much further. But who knows? Something might pop up. Especially with how we left last game, with the infamous murder. The second murder, to be exact.
Are we still doing phrasing?
Yeah, sorry, I got a little bit in there. I'm sorry. Now, last we left out, Ender and Dream were in their casino, and the security officer had just informed them that another murder had occurred. Currently, security officer is standing at duty, but a little bit uncomfortably given the information. He looks to Thander, and he says, "If you wish, sir, I could signal to Dubstep to see if he could come and pick you up ASAP. Would that be okay?"
What are you doing? Are you doing anything of importance right now? Would you be able to personally go and grab the vehicle? What's your name, son?
My name is Alan, sir, and I'm sorry, he kind of adjusts his footing standoffishly. I was instructed to remain on this premises until the end of my shift. Not much I can do for that.
Right. Well, I remember you. You seem to be a quick go-getter. Nonetheless, yes, if you could have Dubstep bring the vehicle around, we would like to go and inspect the crime scene.
Yes, sir.
You know where Dream is? Where is she?
Last I heard, she was in the basement.
All right. If you need me, I'm going to be down there. I need to talk to her about some security details, and I need to make sure that she comes with me on this routine checkup.
Yes, sir. He turns to put his fingers to his earpiece, running a message to Dubstep, and you start to make your way towards the basement, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, as soon as you get down there, you open up and you are greeted by the bright flashing of numerous screens already on, and you will see Dream. Dream, what are you doing right now?
I'm probably checking the security system and making sure everything's up and running, and then coding a firewall.
You see her rapidly tapping away on a small laptop in the corner, seemingly unfazed by the other computer screens just flashing information all around you guys. From one side of the room, at least, I'm sorry.
I'll say, hey, Dream, we need to get going. I want to get there as soon as possible to see what is going on.
Wait, what?
We need to get going. There's important business. I'll fill you in when we get close. Grab
You
your.
see where there's important things that I don't really know about already. It's bad. It's already bad.
Well, how about this? You bring your cell phone thingy, and then that other the thing that you were just tapping on with the square like little buttons.
Yep.
Bring that. And then you don't need the Wi-Fi, right?
Whew. It's painful. Okay. Yes, I don't need it. She just starts like making sure everything's okay and to stop
heard
where
there
she
was
is, and then
a password. Did you
shuts off.
Did you get the password as she like walks off?
Oh my god.
She must have most definitely gotten the password.
Mm-hmm.
I like meet up with my security detail, and I'll say, we'll be back in about an hour and a half. Stay warm. And I'll walk out.
Enforcer. As you start to walk out, you immediately see Dubstep's vehicle ride up, and as soon as the window rolls down, you hear Dubstep music start playing out as he looks out to you with his lazy eyes. What to say?
To the crime scene of, and I rattle off what details I would know.
Alright. He nods slowly, and then turns towards the front of the vehicle. At once, sir. As you two immediately get into the vehicle, and he drives off, heading closer to the city. Meanwhile, scene transitions to a bright dressing room. Lights scattered all around it, as well as clothing of numerous different colors, as we see our good character, Derek, sitting at sitting in a chair in front of a mirror, getting ready for a show. At the side of the room, where the door is, he hears a... Mr. Derek, are you in?
Pray, enter.
As soon as you hear the jostling of the doorknob, as a slightly nervous man enters in, giving a cough. Hello, sir. I have some news. First and foremost, I'm sorry to say that the show might be a little bit short tonight. There was another murder recently, just a few hours ago, and officials are getting ready to increase the severity of the curfew, so your show might be on for About a half hour at best, instead of the hour that we originally planned.
I guess I won't be sawing anyone in half tonight.
Oh, sir, I'm sorry. Another bit of news, you have a visitor.
Well, yes, I can see you.
He waves his hands nervously in front of you. No, not me, sir. No, sir, I'm sorry. It's a tall individual, goes by the name of, Marcus. He looks rough to me.
What you say? Well, send him in, I guess.
Yes, sir. He gives a quick nod and quickly exits the room. And a few minutes later, you see the same man open the door, but hold it open as he stands aside, motioning with his free hand, being like, "As you go, sir." Then you see a tall man with a shaved head walk in, stern scowl on his face, as he looks directly at you. It's been a little bit hard to get in touch with you.
You always know where to find me.
He gives the man holding the door a quick look, almost a glare, and and gives a signal to just leave them alone. The man just kind of fidgets uncomfortably, looking up at Marcus fearfully, and then quickly glances over at you, looking for direction.
I nod at him and let him go.
He looks relieved at that, and immediately bows towards Marcus, saying, "Excuse me," as he quickly shuts the door behind him. Marcus then stands at the door, looking at you. After a small moment of silence, he says, "So I guess you heard the news."
Assume you're referring to the second murder?
Mm-hmm.
Then clearly I have.
It's getting a little bit crazy out there, he says. But he walks up, but this opens up more and more of an opportunity, as gruesome as it may sound. I'll be straight with you. The window is getting wider, and we cannot let this pass up, and we cannot let it fail. I have few agents already on the job, but you may need to come in contact with them and assist them if you can.
Okay.
When should your show start? Yeah.
Well,
If you look at that pamphlet on the side, you'll see that your show will start in about the next hour and a half.
yeah, pretty soon. About exactly 86 minutes.
He nods, pulling out a phone and tapping on it very rapidly, turning it off and putting it back in his pants. He says, "I'll be coming by around here soon enough. I just need you to recognize them. First one is someone who looks very out of touch with the rest of society. And the second is someone who's too in touch with modern society. Social media, I guess. Just keep a lookout for them. And assist them if they need it."
Pretty sure I can do that.
Alright. And if you need anything else, just send word to the rest of the Enochs. I'll get in touch with you. Given a small nod, he turns to the door and then just yanks it open, seeing the same man just like jump in fear, looking straight up at Marcus. "Are you going, sir?" he says. Marcus doesn't even answer him as he just walks right past him, and you hear his footsteps clap on the pavement as he moves away. The assistant looks down the hallway, seeing him go, as he looks back to you fearfully. Any problems, sir? Anything I can help with?"
Not at the moment. After all, the show must go on.
Yes, sir. He gives a bow. He looks at you. I'll be back. I'll be back when the show's about to begin to bring you over to the stadium. Bring you over to the stage. Oh, sorry,
Okay.
sorry, my nerves. He then proceeds to close the door behind him as you get back to your duties to getting ready to the show. Scene transition again to a high-rise penthouse apartment overlooking the rest of Las Vegas. From here, we see a woman with a long smoke in her fingers. Or what's that thing called? Like a long metal stick that you smoke through? I know it's not a... Is it a pipe? I'll call it a pipe. A long pipe in between her index and middle finger. Taking a few quick puffs as she looks out to the city below her. She hears a knock at the door. Excuse me, Madam Empress Heaven. May I come in? Oh, I think she might be muted. I can't hear anything. Can you guys hear something?
Yes, what is it? Go get the door, please.
Alright, as the doors open, you see a lanky man walk up to the door and look over to you, and he says, "Do you really want visitors at this time? You want visitors at this time of night?"
If they're brave enough to knock, let them in.
He gives a small nod, grabbing the door and opening it, and showing a young man sitting at the door, envelope in his fingers. Hello, Mrs. Empress Heaven?
Darling.
Empress Heaven, darling. Yes, ma'am. The person gives a small nod. I work for the Postal Service, and we were given an urgent letter. Normally we don't serve at this time of night, but, my superiors told me to go ahead and give this to you. He has a letter in his hands. And he holds it out to you.
Mm. Gogurt, read this to me. I cannot read this writing. What is this?
The man who opened the door gives a slight growl as he holds his hand out for the letter and snatches it away from the mailman, making him jump a little bit in fright. He tears over the corner.
Oh, Gogurt, don't be rude to our guest.
He looks over to the mailman, giving a slight, what looks like an attempt at a smile, before it immediately goes back to a frown as he rips the corner of the envelope off, reaches in and pulls out a letter, and opens it up. He looks at the first few lines and he says, "It looks like a private message, madam." Then his glance then goes over to the mailman with an uncomfortable glare at him. Mailman looks at him for a moment, then just gives a slight jump. Oh, excuse me. He then walks out the door and shutting it right behind him. Then, a Yoger, not hearing any more footsteps, looks back at the letter, clearing his throat. Madam, Empress Heaven, darling. This message comes to you from the agents of the Anarchs within Las Vegas. As we are sure you're aware, the murder has caused a massive uproar in the city. Not too long ago, another murder has taken place. Stakes are getting higher, and the door of opportunity is both getting bigger and smaller at the same time, and it's sort of an oxymoron. We cannot let this situation slip our hands. We may need for you to assist the main group in taking advantage of this.
I'll be right back.
Take advantage. Do they want me to murder more people?
Yoger examines the letter a bit more and he says, "It seems you're to be summoned at a casino later on tonight to meet with the rest of the group that was assigned to the task."
I suppose I will lend a hand. I have been known to be pretty helpful in these areas.
Indeed, he says. Real quick,
I
Derek,
know a frightful lot of people.
Derek, what's the casino you work at again? Derek?
I think I said Paris, but it could be any one on the strip, really, whatever works for the story.
Alright. That was the one I had planned. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Or to meet with... this is Chicken Scratch who wrote this letter. Or to meet at the Olympus Casino. In approximately an hour and a half. Who wrote this shit? Would you like for me to prepare the limousine, ma'am? He says as he folds the letter up and tucking it into his jacket pocket.
DM, are you still talking to Derek, or are you back on me?
I'm back on you.
Oh, okay. Yes, please. Yes, prepare the car.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
He gives.
Thank you, Gogurt.
He twitches a little bit in annoyance at that, but manages to hide it reasonably well as he reaches over, opening the door and leaving out. Leaving you in the room slightly bathed in the lights below. And then we fast forward, well, not fast forward, we then transition to back in the vehicle with Dubstep, Thunder, and Dream as they make their way to the crime scene. Loud dubstep music is blaring, and a little bit of light on the overhead ceiling. Flashing lights changes a bit of color. The window separating Dubstep from you two goes down slightly. Dubstep looks back behind him and looks to Dream. Do you have any details about this murder, ma'am?
Still looking now. I literally just heard about this. How? Give. I need time. Give me a second.
Yes, ma'am. He gives a small nod as he turns back, the window rolling back up. So far on your screen, Dream, you don't really see too much information. The murder is still very fresh. Could be a very morbid way of putting it. So there's not a lot of details about it, but you can see that it's not too far from where the original murder took place. Say maybe 2 or 3 blocks away from it in another alley. And the police are already on the scene, surrounding it with police tape and pretty much blocking off the entire area from most of the people.
All right. I'll have a Dubstep just kind of like drive the vehicle around, and what I'll do is have him park, I'll say 4 blocks away, and me and Dream can get out and either walk there, or we can maybe roof jump, whatever Dream is kind of interested in.
Well, I'm probably just gonna use the same trick I've been using. Hopefully the investigation team isn't there yet, and I can actually get close. If not, I'm probably just gonna touch some of it and see what I see.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Masters, he says as he pulls up at about the point that you instructed him to. He stops on the curbside, allowing you to get out. Even from this point, you guys can see the blaring blue and red lights from the police vehicles just a few blocks down. And if you squint hard enough, you can just see the police tape already surrounding the opening of the alley.
And where exactly do we park outside of?
It's a few blocks away from the original murder, so it's in the lower end area.
Okay.
Not as this is where a few of the lower income families and a few of the homeless live.
Okay. So I'll tell Dubstep to just kind of drive around. If he needs gas or wants to grab a snack or something like that, tell him to go grab a snack. Me and Dream are kind of gonna do our thing for a short little bit and just kind of poke around and investigate any situation that might have unfolded here and try and come to some type of conclusion. Or at least
I'm
just get
sorry.
some. What?
My bank app doesn't recognize my face.
Oh goodness.
You're dressed up like a Ramon sister.
So, but yeah, I guess me and Whisper will step out of the vehicle and start making our way towards the crime scene.
Right. As you get closer, the lights from the tops of the police cars become more and more visible, and the bright yellow of the police lines are more apparent. You can see that there's a lot more police tape this time around, as well as more officers. You count about 9 or 10 now, all going around the lines and just going in and out of the alleyway, writing down notes. A few of them with flashlights, looking over the entrance of the alleyway. Whisper, I need you to make me a roll for... Oh, both of you, actually. Both of you make a roll for... Let's see... Wits and,
Awareness?
Let's see. Wits and, where is it? Oh, awareness.
Awesome.
So
What's
do we go to the
difficulty?
we roll in vamp dice, right?
Mm-hmm. D10s.
Okay.
Difficulty?
2.
Oh shoot. Wait a second.
Wait, how hungry am I?
Did I
yes.
do it wrong?
Not as hungry as earlier. Oh no.
You're hungry.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, dude. You bestial failured. Dude. So he's like, he steps out of a car.
I'm gonna spend a willpower to re-roll 2 dice.
Yes, please do.
Just like,
Please do.
I'm gonna
Oh,
rip
it didn't help.
Roadhouse.
Okay.
Oh.
Gosh. Okay. How do I do the key binds real quick? Because it's V. So it's V. It's apostrophe.
I'm still recovering from last time.
Space.
Oh,
Oh my
boy.
gosh.
Wait, before the V.
The apostrophe before the V. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
doing.
Okay, so, yeah, Whisper. The bright lights and the sudden number of people around you are kind of freaking you out.
All right. Cool. I got a success.
Yeah.
I got 2 successes.
Yeah, you want to roll for your. You want to see what your condition is, Dream?
Someone Wes redeemed luck in the channel.
Hey, thank you.
Welcome.
And suggested an NPC, Steve the Shifty Card Shark.
Actually, I might write that down. That might be an NPC for later on. If I can.
I would
definitely
use
put
a
that in.
different name, but that's just me.
All right, let me just write that on my notes real quick.
Well, I mean, Malkavians have a specific compulsion.
So, yeah.
So, I could actually let me grab my book real quick. Hold on.
Okay.
I'll read it off again.
As you stand there, you feel the nerves really, really bite at the back of your neck as you feel the hunger in your stomach just grow more and more as you see people walk back and forth, going in touch with your hunger and your agoraphobia. So at this point in particular, it's starting to really catch on.
Wonderful. Everything's fine. Nothing is wrong here.
Flames,
Okay.
flames.
But then, but Thander, you rolled a success, right? So
Yes.
as you look at the crowd of police officers going in and out of the alley, you do see one very familiar individual. From the slightly graying hair and the coat, you can tell that it's Cody Fairfield, right on time, going back into the alley.
So I see him, huh?
Mm-hmm. He sticks out in particular from the police in their darker jackets. His is probably more of a tan, kind of like what you see on cargo shorts. What's the color?
So, Thunder would, just cautiously walk over and kind of blend in with any crowd that might be kind of moving around. And kind
Yeah,
of
there's
there's
a large crowd around the police cars looking on in curiosity, a bit of dread, talking amongst themselves. Like,
I'm gonna kind of just move in between and just hear kind of what people are saying and just kind of listen in, and then as I'm doing that, I'm gonna just kind of weave in and out and then slide out of the crowd and then circle back around to Whisper, just to kind of get an idea of what the public thinks, what they're seeing or hearing and what they're believing, because if they're thinking that this is vampires, that's not good.
as they go around, you hear people talking. A few of them say, "Oh shit, another one? Who is it this time? I don't know. I saw glimpses. It looked like a college kid. Another one. We have a predator on the loose or something? Or a murderer? What? I don't know, dude. I just saw lots of blood down there." You just you hear people just give that kind of information. Most you can really glean from it is that it looks like it's another college kid.
I'll move into the crowd, and if I hear somebody that's spreading rumors and gossip, I'll definitely kind of be like, "Hey, did you hear anything about what anybody believes like the murderer looks like?
Did you see anyone go through? No, man. I didn't see anything go. I didn't see anything. One going in and out of that alley. I bet it's the Chupacabra. Yeah, New Mexico's not too far from here, right?
That's not good.
That
a
guy's been
complete-
smoking something.
It's a completely different state, dumbass.
Oh my goodness.
Basically, you don't really get any big details on it.
Okay.
I'm in compulsions.
Compulsions? Oh.
Yep.
So,
There are some generic ones like hunger, harm, and paranoia. But then there's the Malkavian one, which is their extrasensory gifts running wild. The vampire experiences what might be truths or portents, but what others call figments of the imagination, dredged up by hunger.
so
While still functional.
hallucinations?
Yep. While still functional, the vampire's mind and perceptions are skewed. They receive a 2 dice penalty to rolls involving dexterity, manipulation, and composure, and wits, as
Yeah.
well as on rolls to resist terror frenzy for one scene. Basically, I'm seeing things and visions and things like just stuff that's not there. Hallucinations, delusions. It's fun.
So, yeah, Dream is right there. She is just... The lights from the police cars are really starting to get to her. They're starting to blur around with the rest of the area. And she's not getting a very clear view of the overall scenery. And it's kind of getting to her. Like, she is starting to get very nervous, very fidgety, heart is starting to race.
Mm-hmm.
One of the bystanders notices you and moves over. Hey, lady. He moves over. You okay?
She like She like jumps back and is just staring at him wide-eyed, like ready to run. Like she yelps.
He backs up a little bit. Look at her. It's like, okay, sorry. He takes a few more steps, just moving away, staring at her as he sidesteps out of the way and back towards the crowd.
Thander is not around, correct?
Now he's still in the crowd right now, just listening for information.
She's going to look for somewhere where there is nobody, like to hide.
She looks to the side and sees like a small walkway with a very thick concrete rail that she could hide from the rest of the crowd from.
Okay, she's going to duck behind there and turn invisible.
She turns invisible, and soon enough, the very few people who even noticed her have just pushed her out of their minds as they look back towards the crime scene, gossiping with one another on what probably happened.
I get hungrier.
And all those people are looking like pretty good snacks right now.
Well,
Am I hearing cartoons?
oh, sorry, I'll mute myself. It's my wife. They're watching a movie.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have hyperacusis, so I can like, whoa, I'm like, what is it?
Yeah, Dream just is kind of like peeking around nervously and is just can't deal with anything right now. She's just hiding. She has her hood up.
Yeah, she's just trying to hide and keep the hunger at bay. Thander Thunder, you really don't find much of anything else. All you can get is that there's one psycho killer out there, because if you look at the corner, you do see a thin trail of blood lead out of the side of the alleyway. Whether you can tell that's because the body is close or the body lost that much blood, you cannot tell.
Could I follow the trail?
You could, but there's a line of police tape, about a dozen police officers, and that one Detective Fairfield with his silver cross in his pocket in your way.
Well, like, does it appear as if, like, the blood leaves the crime scene at all?
Like, it leaves out of the alleyway and dips into the street.
Where, in retrospect to where I am, like, is that
You're-
still blocked off by the police? Like, are they
Yeah.
completely barricaded, like, the whole, like, street off?
You're like, well, you're more so across the street from the crime scene. Like, there's a line
Like
of
a
police
sidewalk?
tape. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
You're staring at it from inside the crowd as they're talking with one another.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Alright, well, I'll start looking for where Dream might be.
Alright, as you head back over, you see that she's not in the space that she was originally in.
Well, great. Now I need to go searching for my teammate. We need like one of those damn like one of those things that allow you to talk. What are those things that those kids keep talking through? I don't know. And like that's when I pull out my old, Nokia. And I'm like, how do you turn this thing on again? Was it the green button or the red? But yeah, so
Does he have a flip phone?
No, I have a legit Nokia, like one of those ancient Nokias.
Oh my
That-
god.
Yeah,
The boxy one with
the
the
boxy
big antenna?
one. Yeah, well, no, it's probably one of the ones that actually has like the Nokia right over where like you put your ear up to, and it only has like that green backlight that kind of illuminates it. So like in order to like get like any signal with your phone, like you literally have to like stand up on like a table or something.
Okay, for phone.
And like you're like holding it up and you're like, "Can you hear me
Oh,
now?
that's good.
Can you hear me now?"
Yeah. So, Dream, you would hear Ender just yelling loudly in his weird-ass box phone, just constantly going, "Can you hear me
Candy bar
now?
phone.
Can you hear me now?" Somehow in your delusion, you pick that up.
I'm like, Dre. I'm like, hey, come on. I know this is completely juvenile and whatnot. Hold on, I gotta step away real quick. My son just let my dogs out and they're going crazy. Give me a second.
Okay. Yeah, so... Yeah, I'm guessing he's yelling that loud because she can make out just... Through her delusion, she makes out... Dream! Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
She, I mean, no one can see her, but she flinches and she, like, just looks over, like, around the side of the railing.
As she looks over, the lights from the police cars, as well as the nearby street lights, still blare up. It's still a bit hard for her to make out details, but she does make out one blob standing out from the rest of the crowd, just moving back and forth. And she can pick up that they are yelling very, very loudly. Words like, "Can you hear me now?"
She's just, like, turns back around and just, like, is just leaning against the, concrete, and she just, like, puts her hands around her head and just like, this isn't real. There's nothing. What's happening?
Alright, real quick, could you roll a composure and awareness?
I'm good.
Difficulty 3.
I have a 2 dice penalty.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be rough.
Good luck.
Heart of the dice, dude. Heart of the dice. Let's. So is your roll better this time?
Thank you, Valen1990, for subbing for the 4th month in a row. It seems. Oh no, that's Falcon.
Composure and
And
awareness.
Valen gifted a sub to VA Messenger. Thank you.
So, I can't roll. Like, I automatically fail. I only have 3 dice in this, and it brings me down to 1.
Oh
Wow,
god. Oh.
jeez.
The delusions are only getting
I
stronger
could risk
now.
getting hungrier. I could risk getting.
It looks like you did get hungrier. Right? Or am I wrong? No, that's right. You just bestial failure. It's just a bad failure.
Yeah, the noise around is just getting louder and louder as the lights start blaring, and you really start to panic. Start hyperventilating as you hold on to your head.
I run.
Just in a random direction.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, Ethander, as you're calling on the phone, you notice out of the side of your eye, you see what looks like Dream dart from a concrete stairway into a random direction.
I'm both silent and unseen.
Oh, shoot. You don't even see
So I
her.
don't see nothing.
Nope. I'm gone.
So after trying, like, on my phone for, like, I'd say for a good 5 to 6 minutes, I just give up. And I'm just gonna start looking around for Dream, and after I can't find her, I'm like, did she really just ditch me? We just came all the way out here, and she just left my ass high and dry. What the fuck am I gonna do? Alright, Thunder.
I
Alright.
feel like this has happened before.
Alright. You can figure this out, man. Alright. What would Thunder do? Alright, here we go. Alright. I'm gonna walk up to the police line, and I'm gonna kind of flag a officer down using using my awe to kind of draw his attention and like flag him down and be like, oh, come here.
The police officer sees you and walks to the line. Can I help you, sir?
Hey, so I was wondering, I live around here, and like, what the heck happened?
Another murder, sir. Please step that back a little bit further, he says, motioning to the line.
Sorry.
Another murder, sir. It's very fresh, I guess you could say. See, we're investigating right now.
Oh. Do you know, did this happen with, like, in the past hour or something?
Past 45 minutes, sir.
Oh my
That's it.
god, this is horrible. Do y'all know who it is? Do y'all know who died? Do y'all know who the killer is?
He also... sir, we can't disclose that right now, he says. We're still looking into it. We're going to verify the body and disclose, and if we are authorized, we'll disclose the information.
Oh, come on. Can't you look here? Come here. And I'm gonna use compel.
Well,
going to
right
say,
right as he's about to lean in, you to hear a voice say, "Is there something going on?" You look to the side and you see Cody Fairfield walk up,
oh
a
shit.
scowl on his face.
I'm gonna say, oh, officer?
Detective, he says, as he gets to
Detective.
the line
Wow.
right beside the officer.
I was wondering, what the heck is happening around here?
Hey, you remember this guy's a hunter, right? I'm
Yes,
sure
I
Dream
know.
told you, okay?
Yes. Oh, I know.
Okay.
Let me say, excuse me, sir, but what the heck is going on around here?
And in case you can't tell, he says, by the line or the points down at the concrete, seeing the blood leak past the sidewalk. Blood. There's been another murder.
Yeah. I'm really worried about this town, man. It seems like it's really going to shit. A bunch of innocent people getting killed like this. Like, do y'all think that, like, there's a murderer running around?
Hard to say, Cody says, looking down the hallway, down the alleyway. But some stuff is starting to add up.
Well, I hope y'all catch that guy. Whatever sicko did this.
He looks to you for a split second, looking away, but then he double takes as he looks at you and he says, "Did we meet before?"
I'm gonna say, well, I'm gonna look at him and kind of like give him like this kind of like, like puzzling kind of glance. Like, I don't know, maybe. Do you
He
go
takes
to
another
see this a lot?
He takes another step, looking at you suspiciously. You were at the last crime scene too, weren't you? You were sticking it out with someone else, I think.
Was I?
He just continues.
No, I
He
wasn't
continues.
sticking it out with anybody. I was by myself. But that crime scene is actually right down the street from my actual casino. I have another casino not too far from here at this location. I myself am a entrepreneur. I'm a businessman. I have a lot of different properties all around Vegas, and I help individuals, buy and sell properties. It's
And you
honestly,
personally walked to the scene of a crime.
well, honestly, I was in the area, and because of that, I saw a bunch of lights and sirens, and I came walking, and now I'm finding out that another person has been killed. And this seems like it's happening all over the place, but mostly in these areas, these kind of the lower slummy areas. Do you know if this person's like gonna keep doing this in this area?
He still glares at you for a little bit, suspicion. He says,
I'm not
"Don't
hiding
know anything about that yet."
I've been completely honest with him. I'm not hiding anything from him. The only thing that's different between, me and him, so to speak, is I'm a fucking vampire.
Right.
But he wouldn't technically know that. So
Well,
this
before
is really
he
our
can say
first social interaction together.
anything else, you
And you know what?
hear.
I too will even fake breathing. I will fake it.
Hey, in order to do that,
I will remind myself to breathe, to fake breathing in and to fake breathing out to appear.
there's
and to
actually
blink.
something for this.
Oh, really? And to blink.
It's called Blush of Life.
Oh, do I have that?
Everybody does.
Okay. Does it cost anything? I'll use.
You
Blush
have to
of
make
Life
you
then.
must make a rouse check.
I don't want to do that.
Well, it basically it turns your body on temporarily.
Okay. So I have to roll a willpower.
No, yeah, you just roll one dice, and if it's a failure, you get hungrier.
Shit.
It turned you on, eh?
Not an
Oh.
arouse check.
What's my hunger at? Hold on,
I
what's
don't
my
know. What is
hunger
your
at?
hunger at? Mine's a
I don't-
3.
Oh no, mine's a 2. This is bad. Alright, I'll give it a shot.
It's fine.
I will tempt my hunger. Ah, it's a failure. So I get hungrier.
We're both at
But
3. Hell yeah.
but I still activate Blush of Life, so I appear as human. I can eat, I can drink, I can do whatever I want, and appear as human. I even blink.
Yeah, you try to look normal to this guy, but he is still kind of looking through you. Before you can say anything else, though, you both hear loud sirens come wrong from the other side of the street. As you both look and you see an ambulance pull up, as uh, some some workers or some ambulance workers come out and make their way towards the alleyway. They're probably gonna take that body to the morgue, he says. He then looks to you, saying, "I need to get back to work." It
Oh, sorry,
was
sorry for holding you up, officer.
no
Detective, I
problem at
mean.
all. No problem at all, Mister
Thander.
Fender.
Yep, I'd say stop on by my casino whenever you feel like it, but the one down the street from this the first crime it's not up and running yet. I'm trying to get that, off the ground and stuff like that and get customers through the door, but my other casino right down a couple blocks down from here. I think it's the I can't even remember what I named it. I think it was like the Golden Dragon or something like that. I think the players, no, it was like the viewers made the name. If they want to make the name for my second place, that'd be awesome.
Hmm.
But
Right, he says as he starts to turn. Well, have a good night, Mister Fender.
good
And
night.
before he walks into the crowd of police, as they welcome in the the ambulance workers into the alleyway. As he walks away, you feel your massive brick Nokia of a phone rattle on your side loudly. Or not rattle, but just like blare loudly. Loud beeping noises are heard.
I'm gonna say, "Oh, cool, it's working." And that's when I'm gonna
Your,
like pull it out of my pocket.
Everybody gives you very weird looks from across the street, even as you walk away from the scene of the crime. A few of them just look at you with like raised eyebrows, just like look in bewilderment.
I look at them and I say, "What? They
Oh,
literally could survive a meteor strike. Okay, get off me."
they look away from you standoffishly as they get back to the crime scene.
Anyway, I'm gonna fumble with this Nokia and try and figure out how to turn it on. And after I press some of the buttons, it beeps and it turns on. And I'm gonna look at it and kind of press it up to my ear and say, "Hello."
Sir, you hear the voice of dubstep on the end. I have just received a message from Master Marcus. Are you and Miss Dream available?
And I put like one finger in my ear and I'm like, "I'm available. Dream has gone missing."
Missing?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay around here for about the next hour and a half, maybe 2.5 hours, just kind of waiting. She kind of does this, She kind of goes invisible, goes
We
unseen, and kind of does her thing, and then shows back up, and then we leave together, and we talk about our
I
findings. But I'm sure she'll show up here in the next 5 minutes.
That is pressing it, sir, he says with a note of urgency in his voice. I feel a very relative urgency given his usual monotone nature.
Hmm.
The message Master Marcus said is that he wants you and Dream to go into Las Vegas effective immediately into the brighter districts. He wants you to meet at the Olympus Casino.
Ooh, the Olympus. I like the Olympus. It's nice. All right. Well, let's shoot. Is there any way that you? Oh, never mind. Don't worry about it. I'll get it handled. Thank you so much. I will see to these matters immediately. Just gotta figure out where the heck Dream
Yeah.
is.
I will be. Oh, I'll be within. I'll be at the curbside within the next 10 minutes to pick you up, he says. If it makes you feel any better, I will escort you to the site and then come back to look for her.
Oh, all right. Well, shoot. Well, I mean, she's gotta be around here somewhere, and like that's when I'll end up hanging up and like looking around for wherever the heck Dream might be. I was kind of wandering.
Hey, what's the nearest quote unquote safe place?
I was getting on.
Sewer
I was
system.
getting towards that Dream, just wandering around by this point, and you actually find yourself somewhat darting deeper into the bright city. It's not deep in the city, but you do start to see lights blaring overhead more and more as your senses do get more and more overstimulated. It's pretty much to say you're hallucinating really badly now.
I'm just gonna look for someplace dark.
You look more and more as, but all you can see is the blare of lights. You can hardly make anything out. You stagger around, move around, and then all of a sudden, you hit something and you fall flat on your back.
I just scramble backwards and look up.
You look up, you see that you hit a limousine. The limousine in particular was slowly moving, but it came to a complete stop as the door opens and closes, and you see a tall, lanky man get out and look down, staring at you. The hell are you?
She's just staring wide-eyed. She's like stuttering.
He growls as he opens the window. Opens the car door, looking inside, and he's saying, "Pardon me, Miss Evan. Someone hit our vehicle."
I was what that noise was.
Looks like he looks over at Dream for a second, and then he looks back at her. Looks like one of the local vandals on drugs again. Want me to shoo her away?
Well, we should at least get some insurance information. Is there any damage to my vehicle?
He takes a quick glance, seeing a very, very faint dent in it. He looks over and he's like, maybe like 100 at the most.
Mm.
And then he looks over to...
Oh, I wouldn't even worry about it. It's very gauche.
He looks over at Dream and he's like, can you guys get on your drugs out in places where you don't bother anyone else?
She just shrinks in on herself. And just, she's going to look him directly in the eyes. And just say, forget. And she's going to use cloud memory.
His head slightly shakes for a sec,
And
but
she's
then he looks
going
down
to
at her.
just dart off.
Wait a sec. Ugh. He shakes his head, leaning on it. Is that a fucking vampire? His memories are slightly dazed for a bit, but he shakes it off. He looks in the direction that that Dream is running. He then looks down and into the limousine, looking over to Miss Heaven. Just Heaven. I think that was a vampire. He looked blood crazed.
Interesting. Do you think that they had anything to do with the recent murders?
He stands up near the car door, looking at the distance, still seeing Dream run off. Could be. Do you want me to tell her?
Tell her what?
Tail her. Is that
Yeah.
for her?
Yeah, go ahead.
No. No, Gogurt, that won't be necessary. I need you to take care of things for me.
At once, ma'am, he says, somewhat reluctantly, as he gets back into the limousine and starts driving further into the city. Transition back to
Where are we headed, by the way, DM?
the Olympus casino. That's where pretty much everyone is going at this point.
I'm gonna roll it.
Oh, okay, so we're all just
Dice.
convening there.
Yep.
She dropped her phone.
Oh, yeah, it's one big problem after another. So
So he would have seen her phone on the ground.
he looks over to the phone, and he actually does see that the phone was dropped. Miraculously, there's not a crack on it as he walks towards it, picking it up and playing with it. Is the phone password protected?
I think she had it open because she was like trying to calm herself down with it, like looking anywhere but the lights. So it's actually open, but it is locked if he ends up closing it.
So, looking over carefully, Yogur looks through the contacts, and he sees the most recent one being from a Mr. Fender. He then quickly hits the call button, putting it to his ear. And Thunder, you'll hear your phone go off again. Giving off a blaring ring noise.
Like, ha! Go over and hit the green button. Be like, I think this is working. Hello? Hello?
Who the hell is this?
Who the hell is this? You called me.
Are you friends with a girl by chance?
Give me a name, please.
I don't know. Looks like she's very antisocial, very jittery.
Yep, I know that one. What about her?
She looks like she's having a bit of a panic attack. She's running deep into the city. And I can already tell that both of you are kindred. Or at least she is.
Who the hell are you? Who is this?
Someone who you do not want reporting this to the sheriff, he says. So I'm just giving this as a heads up. Get your friend before she makes a scene.
Alright, I appreciate it, thank you. And I'm going to immediately go search for her.
Do you call up Dubstep?
Yes. I try at least. I don't know if Vander would know how to call someone. He usually just lets, like, Whisper do that. People dream. Dream's the
Okay,
phone
just gonna
person.
say.
I just know
I
that
want
the
you-
red phone with a red button makes things hang up, and the green button
Got
makes things
him!
turn on.
Okay. Roll intelligence and technology, please.
Oh no.
I'm just so stuck in my old ways of like, you know, like I literally pick up the phone and like there's a person there and they're like, who do you need me to connect you to? And I'm like, Suzanne down the street. I need to tell her that I've got the newest magazine of, you know, whatever. And they literally like take the line and plug it in. That or what is it where they're like tapping Morse code? What's up, buddy?
Telegraph.
Yeah, so again, what did you need me to roll?
Intelligence and technology.
So I need to roll a 3.
Yeah.
Alright, give me a second.
Given your character and how old that phone is.
Hey, I mean, it's, you know, I should be able to work it.
Dream, just advice for later on. Give this man a smartphone.
Oh, this is bad. Messy critical. So I'm
You
rolling
get-
all hunger, but I got all successes on my hunger dice.
Oh.
A little, I'm not so good at it. I get like
so-
I'm probably like pressing and like I probably throw it on the floor, and then like that's when it actually like falls them, and like I'm like yeah, all right, finally it's working, and like that's why I have a Nokia is because like I just throw phones all the time.
Yeah, you just switch from call to call, calling different people.
Hold on. I will. If you don't mind, I'll say the rules for messy criticals.
Okay.
Storyteller and the player work together to decide on the level of success and the level of mess. By and large, they scale upward together. The following are results from a good. I'm not gonna finish that. The character gains 1 or more stains on their humanity for their monstrous action. The character breaches the masquerade as they visibly demonstrate their supernatural strength or speed, or leave gaping bite wounds in a body. The character loses 1 dot from an advantage. For example, you might have totaled your Bugatti, or crippled a retainer, offended an ally, or just lost status in the court following your outburst. Although the character still needs to spend time to take in a later scene or in the background to take an action to repair the dot, the storyteller can allow the loss to recover more quickly than other vanished dots. If none of the above conditions fit the narrative, such as on a stealth or awareness test, the character must act out a compulsion, or the test fails completely as the beast clouds their senses.
Well, then the question would be, at what degree would I be getting upset that I can't call dubstep?
How good was the success?
It was 2 10s and a 9.
So that's 5. 5
Yeah.
total.
Okay, so you're just going through the calls on the phone, just like hitting random numbers. First call is like, "Hello, Mikey. Are you finally calling me? It's been so long since you've talked to your grandmother." And then you hit.
Wrong
Then
person.
and then the next call is like, "Hola, señor. ¿Cómo está?"
Hola, ¿cómo está, señor? Mi amigo, no, no habla español. Deep.
And then
I'll hang up.
It probably hangs up. And then another call comes up. Hey man, I can get you some sweet deals on some cryptocurrency if you want to get in on that.
Wait, you're saying you have crypt currency, as in currency of the undead. How did you get this number?
Cryptocurrency.
What the hell?
I'm
He just hangs up
definitely-
on you, and you just go through a lot of numbers.
This is a breach. This is a breach of the masquerade. He knows about us.
In a panic, you throw the Nokia down on the ground, and it actually leaves a massive scratch on the side of the Nokia.
No, not the Nokia. He starts to rage out.
You're making a scene. Everybody,
Just knowing that there's a mortal out there who knows about our secret, about the crypt currency. Check us up. Everyone knows. Why even hide it?
a nearby woman with groceries
Oh,
just
God.
looking at you. Just
What are you
wondering
looking
if you're on
at?
drugs. She gets a scream and she just runs off.
I'll like tighten up. Be like,
That's
oh, maybe I need
exactly what I wanted.
to. I need to get out of here.
Help! This man's on drugs.
So yeah, I'm gonna make a bolt for it. I'm gonna get out of there.
Tree
Did
says
you
he
pick up your
he
Nokia?
deserves inspiration for that.
Oh god.
There
I
is
second
none.
it.
VA Messenger says, "How much to buy him an iPhone?" Question is, would you want to? Because literally, will it survive Fander's rage fits?
Can you imagine, like, you would go for, what was that game on the Nokia, like the little centipede, the snake game?
Snake.
You go from Snake to, like, Candy Crush.
Oh my god. He
There's
wouldn't-
games on this.
Yeah,
He doesn't
Fander-
even
Fander
He gets all that
doesn't
positive
even- yeah.
reinforcement from the Candy Crush voice. Excellent. Stupendous.
He's like,
Oh,
this is
is
how
friendly. I like it.
this is how I determine my business deals.
So did you leave your Nokia on the ground? Just asking.
Oh no, I smashed like one good portion of the Nokia. Like we're gonna say that like there is a 1-inch scratch across the plastic face, and it's very difficult to like read it. So
That'll still work.
yeah, it will still work and call
Those things were
people.
tanks.
Yeah, I mean literally somebody buried it in concrete and they unburied it like after like 10 years, and it was still like its battery still worked.
So just being able to break that thing should show you have supernatural strength.
Yeah. Like Nokias were no joke.
Okay, so you did pick it up, and it still works. It just has a massive ass scratch in it now.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll pick it up and then like I'll just start.
Do they make otter boxes for Nokias?
Do they make otter boxes for Nokias? That's like putting a tank inside of a tank.
Oh god. So yeah, you just as you pick up the phone and you start running off, you see Dubstep's vehicle suddenly pop up.
Yeah, press play.
Yeah, just driving up, and he saw you kind of freaking out. As he drives close to you, lowering the window, looking at you with a bit of a glazed eye, asking, "Do you need a moment, sir?"
I'll say, hey, Dubstep. So we've got a job to do. And he'll get like real serious and he'll say, Dream is missing, and she's been running around the city, apparently saying that the lizard men are crawling out of the sewers and they need to be stopped.
Should I inform Master Raphael, sir?
Yes,
Or Master
immediately.
Splinter?
Master Splinter? What is this, a kid's 90s cartoon? No, come on now. Get on it, man.
Before the Shredder gets to us, I'm sure. He then
Oh.
looks over. He then looks over to the city. In either case, that is our destination. Please get in so that we may get there.
Alright. Well, I'm gonna jump in the car. Let's just go straight into the city and just kind of peruse around. She couldn't have gotten too far. Not on her not on our time. Let's go, come on.
Yes, sir. As the door is open and you go in, he immediately drives off. Scene transitions back to the dressing room of the Olympus Casino, as we see Derek. He is getting ready for the show, right?
Dunk dunk.
You hear a knock. Derek, sir, show's gonna be starting in 5 minutes.
Oh, I hate the knocking.
Sir?
Make him wait.
Sir, make the crowd wait?
I'm gonna put some antiseptic. Patient.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll hold off for a few more minutes. I'll try that much, he says as you hear the footsteps run away from the concrete. But even from the
Okay.
even from the closed off room, you can still hear some people starting to cheer your name. You hear very faint voices chanting, Bergnum, Bergnum, Bergnum. As you hear people from behind your door rushing back and forth, hear voices going on, be like, okay, it's the stage set up. Okay, get those tricks ready. Where's the shark? And in a few more minutes, you hear a
Okay. After hearing that, I carry on applying like
applying. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you broke up there. Couldn't hear what you said.
Are you coming through?
Yeah, you're not, Craig. You're not coming through.
Is your Discord mic muted?
okay, is it coming through now?
Yeah, you're coming through now. You're coming through now.
Okay, cool. Anyway, I missed a little bit of what the storyteller was saying, but the show's about to start, so Derek's busily dabbing on like makeup to give himself an extremely obvious fake orange tan. Hoping it will, because he knows that looks good under the stage lights. And then basically heads down in the elevator beneath his stage and starts to climb up and kind of acknowledge the crowd.
All right, all right. So you're
Make
on the
him
stage
roll to
now,
see
right?
if he has a tan line.
Okay. What would that be even?
He's got
yes,
like that white mark on the side of his face.
I guess that would be wits awareness. Oh god, we're actually
She's
rolling.
surprisingly
I
good
think
at
I
that.
made Ryan choke. Are you
Wits and
okay?
awareness, you said. Got 7 dice. Blimey.
Oh no! I'm sitting here watching Ryan choke to death. Are you okay, man?
He's muted, so.
Give it the
that
Heimlich.
on 7 dice, that is 2 successes.
Okay, so yeah, you look on, you're pretty much spotless, except for one small
He's as
mark.
sexy as George Hamilton.
One small mark on the side of the head where you see a little bit of your pale skin. To like people that are just looking at you from the distance from the stage, they probably won't notice. It is just like glaring in the back of your mind that there's a small spot in your makeup. Before you can touch it up, though, you hear another knock. Sorry, sir, we need you on stage ASAP.
Joseph, come on, man.
Okay, I run to the stage.
As you run out of your
Run to the stage.
dressing room and towards the stage, a lot of people step aside as you see a lot of your tricks and setups being set up, and soon you go past the curtain and you see a massive crowd of people in the casino watch as you wander on, immediately clapping and cheering for you.
Excellent. I launch into my patter about this escape-proof box. It's airtight, and I only have like 3 minutes to get out, or I suffocate and can't breathe. Do that, and then I get my assistant to chain me into the box.
Everyone gasps as they see you chained inside of the box, as your assistant calms the crowd, or just smiling at them as she wraps the chains around it, and then steps away as it's raised up and then lowered into the water tank full with the shark, I assume. A bit of a death trap.
Only a little.
You still come through?
I can hear you.
Yeah, you're coming through. It's just nobody else is. Like, I can hear Dream. Y'all hear me?
I can hear you.
I can't hear.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Well, I'm talking about Derek. I can't hear him.
I'm just really quiet.
All right. So what's going on right now?
I think it's audio. Let's see.
I don't know. I'm in my limo drinking champagne. I could care less. But apparently I've been summoned.
Well, I guess this will be a good little moment for us to take a small 5-minute break. Wait.
Is that you?
Oh, is that you, Derek?
Hello.
Wes.
That's Wes.
Ooh, golly.
You're saying that?
It's Wes.
Ah, okay. Yeah, Wes?
Yeah.
That was
Well,
that was like right in my ear.
Well, it seems like we're having a few technical difficulties, so I think this might be a good time for us to have a small 5-minute break. Is
Yeah.
that
Let's
okay
take
with you
a.
guys?
Well, let's take
Yeah,
like a
I'm fine with
10-minute
that.
break. Let's take a 10-minute break. 10 minutes
Right.
more reasonable.
All right, we'll be back at about 9:08 to 9:10.
Yep.
All right. One
Right.
sec, guys.
We
I'm
can
gonna
do
go-
some ASMR if you.
No.
Are we supposed to talk like this for the rest of the evening?
I'm going to go get myself some.
Die. Only if we want to die. I don't want to die.
It's okay. It's really hard to die in this game.
I thought I was already undead.
That's the point. You're hard to kill
Oh, okay.
again.
Okay.
Unless sun is or fire is involved.
Hello.
Wait, hang on. Let me do the nail thing that the girls do.
Oh God, no! Please, no, God.
Oh, sorry. I did it for a second. Only for a second. The foam's back on. I won't do it again.
Instant panic.
That knocking though, oh my god. I hate like uninvited knocking, so like hearing
Oh.
someone knock like triggers my anxiety and I'm just like, somebody answer the door.
It's okay. For me it's that, and then I just get like random notifications or phone calls or messages on my phone.
I
just
have my
yell at my
notifications
phone.
turned off. Like I just, and I only like check things when I actively like go to check them. So like my sister's like, so you aren't talking to me? And I'm like, this is the first time I've opened Instagram that I remembered in a week. It's not that I'm not talking to you. I just forgot and haven't checked it.
My notifications are off from 10 at night to like 8 in the morning for everything.
I can't do that because my
Oh, well, I mean, I work for myself now, so I just do that. I basically taken like a week and a half off work because I don't care, and none of my stuff's due till the 29th.
I don't know. The most I do is put it on vibrate, but every time it's on sound and I get messages or anything like that, I just start yelling at my phone.
I even hear the vibrate because it'll vibrate against whatever it's sitting on, and it's just like.
Yep.
So I have to turn them like completely off.
So who the fuck is calling me? Shut up. Leave me alone.
I was playing a game.
Why is Tracy sending Discord or why is Sonata sending Discord messages at 3 a.m.? Because I have insomnia. Damn it!
I was playing a game one time, and I was actually cut my fingernails, like while we were playing, and I forgot my mic picked up everything.
Oh no!
Oh god!
And so they're like, "Who's cut their nails?" I was like, "Me."
No one. That's kind of like me doing dishes in the middle of our session. Like, who's doing dishes? Mutes my mic, doesn't say anything.
Yep. Not me. So did you see that picture of the big giant Nokia phone that had like an OtterBox case on it?
No. See it. Where was that?
Look in the chat. It's the greatest thing ever.
Oh, oh my god.
It's I mean, that thing must weigh 1,000 pounds.
It'll bounce and like hit somebody.
Yeah. I thought Ron was going to kill himself earlier with those headphones.
Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys.
I know. I saw him choke. I was like, "Oh my god, what are you doing?"
He was choking.
Coughing at something. I couldn't tell if I made him laugh or if he just swallowed something funny.
And then he took his headphones off. I swear to God that the cables on his headphones, because he didn't have Bluetooth headphones, they like wrapped around his whole neck. I thought he was gonna die. Look back in the. I don't think it was a. Oh, I guess yeah, probably.
Oh, Craig, come get the cookie box.
So honest opinion. What do you think about my fancy mustache?
Good.
You like it?
You should wax the ends and like curl it a little bit.
No.
You definitely look like a police detective.
Well, you can't see there's still a little.
A bit of a soul patch?
Yeah, a little bit. It's just lighter because it's because I'm old and it's gray.
It's a coffee saver.
Wow.
It's a coffee saver.
I call it something different.
Oh. Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, you all freaked me out, by the way. You all freaked me out.
I'm still trying to figure out like what everybody's name is, because I don't know who's talking when. Hang on, because there's I need like visuals about who's.
I'm Whisper. Otherwise, Dream.
And then there's Craig.
Oh, I thought Ryan was Whisper. Oh, Craig, I know. I'm married to him.
No.
Yeah, is his audio equipment good? I still can't hear him.
Really? I should be back now.
Yeah, I hear you now.
Come get the cookies, damn it.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Are we on break?
Come fucking get them, or they're not lasting.
Yeah, we're gonna get back in a few more minutes.
I'm not trying these on air. I'll try them after.
We kind of left you at a 1950s serial cliffhanger where you're being dunked into like a vat of water while chained up in a box.
So basically, I've been called in, sort of like that Mrs. What's Her Face mystery, to come in and help with the investigation. What's that Essie Davis show?
Investigation. Who is Derek?
Essie Davis.
I hate it when we're already looking fine all freaking day, and then one time I actually want it to work.
It might be our internet. Our internet sucks ass.
Who's Derek? I know. Dreams Whisper.
Who's that?
Dream is Whisper.
Oh.
Yes, hello.
I think that's
Thomas.
Yeah, that's the DM.
Yeah, I'm the DM.
No, the one on the bottom right.
Oh, Derek, that's... Let's see.
What are you doing?
I just thought I
Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries. Is that my task?
I guess so.
Because I'm some fancy rich heiress with an assistant.
So Thander's Craig.
But like vampire.
Heaven. You're Heaven. Dream is Whisper. And do I know who Derek is?
Want to stay here with me?
Limey.
That's Limey.
Okay.
Well, he only went out because you asked him to. He wants back in now. I didn't shut you out.
Wait, so I thought. Oh, Tom is. Wait, is Tommy Thander?
Yeah, Tommy's Thander.
Oh, so and Derek is Craig.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got it.
That's the party in its entirety.
Yeah. Okay.
Craig, Zeke only left because you asked him to. He wants to go back in.
I still have no idea what's going on in this game, and I love it though. And I've already used 6,000 points.
Well, one player is chained up in a box underwater. One player is having the trip of her life. Another player is a relic trying to figure out how to work a Nokia. And the other one is just sipping fine champagne.
Oh god, they
on
can
the way
still
to the
hear
show.
us. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you see the Nokia photo I put in the chat?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm going to see something as
Discord chat.
droll as a magic show. I would think that something like that would too beneath my. Or do I have to be there?
I think the Nokia he's talking about is much older than that. It's like that one brick phone from like the early.
No,
90s.
it was the original candy bar phone.
Oh, okay, maybe that was it. Okay, actually, yeah.
No, the one that was originally posted was the original candy bar phone.
Okay, yeah.
And
okay,
Ryan, I thought you were gonna wait. Can you hear us?
He's muted.
No.
I thought the
he was
phone
gonna
that he
kill
meant was the
something.
kind that looked like a giant, like faceless alarm clock with an antenna.
Well, the original
With
the 3310 was the original one. I had that. That was the greatest phone ever. And then they came out with the StarTAC, like the Motorola StarTAC.
You'll hear me yelling at Craig to come get his cookies. Did everybody like that little ASMR bit? Oh, you got him. Okay.
So we're about ready to get back in. Tommy, you back?
Oh. I'll mute myself.
We'll
just put the mics closer to our mouths. Talk like this for the rest of the show.
I really don't even need to keep it that close, but
all right. So
Sucks. That's a short.
Sorry.
Right.
it's 9:20.
I know, dude, but I'm a morning worker for my job, so this is like midnight for me.
I work all night. I've only had 4 hours of sleep.
I'm sorry, man.
It's okay. I've only been sleeping like 4 hours a day anyway.
All right, we're live. So, back with Derek, he's in the middle of a very, very dangerous stunt in which he is chained up in a box, being dipped in water. Derek, have any ideas on how you're going to get out of this one? Derek? Quick transition then. Heaven, back with Heaven, you see that, you're in the limousine right now, driving up. You hear an occasional grumble from Yogur, getting angry with the passing cars nearby, occasionally opening the window, shaking his fist, yelling just about every swear word in the book before going back and just driving through traffic.
Yogur, don't be rude to the people.
I'm not being the rude one. They're being rude to me.
Oh, just calm your tits.
Ugh. Eventually, you do make it to the front entrance of the Olympus. He stops and looks behind him at you and says, "Finally here, ma'am. Just one moment." He unbuckles his seatbelt and gets out of the car, making his way to the other side of the limousine before opening the door and sitting beside it, allowing you to exit.
So I'm getting out of the vehicle, yes.
As you step out, you see the bright lights of the Olympus Casino as they shine down on you and everyone else in the area.
Oh.
I know, it's a little bit bright for my taste too, man.
Here. That is why I wear these sunglasses. Vegas is always like the sunshine.
Yes, ma'am. As you leave, he shuts the door and then starts making his way to back to the driver's side. Please make your way inside, ma'am. I will park the limousine and will be with you momentarily.
Okay, so I go inside. What do I see?
As soon as you step in through the doors, you see rows and rows of slot machines around you, as well as several tables darting all around. Some of them focusing on poker with people surrounding them, everyone with cards in their hands, others with roulette wheels, and others with crap tables. Craps, I guess is a better way to say it. All around, every single betting game you can think of is in this casino. And towards the very end of this large building, you see the stage as you see a man performing what looks like a very dangerous stunt as he is in a box being lowered into a body of water. The sharks.
Oh my. That looks harrowing.
Yeah, and you could almost hear the guests of the crowd from the other sounds of slot machines going off.
So I'm watching the show and then just kind of observing people around because I'm a people watcher, but I don't bet, so I'm not interested in any of that.
You just
I'm
see you see some you see a lot of people just like making beds. Occasionally is screaming success, other times just like roaring in anger. And off to the corner, I swear you saw what looked like a figure just rush into the building before hiding way behind, away from everything else. And that is where we transition to Whisper.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow you get through your agoraphobia somewhat as you rush through a crowd from alleyway to alleyway until eventually find yourself looking straight up at one of the brightest buildings you'd ever seen. But out of the corner of it, you see a level of darkness off to the side of it. You can barely make it out through the lights.
Okay. I'm going to just start kind of like looking around confused and then just move my way to the darker part, just to anywhere.
You make it through. You make it through there, and alleyway is in complete darkness, giving you a moment to just compose yourself.
You're fine. He's not here. He's not following you. Is he following you? No, it's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
All right,
Everything's fine.
And after you do take a moment to just compose yourself, you do immediately notice that there's not a phone on you.
No, that's mine. Shit. She just starts panicking. Starts looking through all of her pockets and just looks through her bag.
As she digs through, she cannot find her phone. It's very apparent that she left it somewhere behind.
No. She completely forgetting why she was in the alley to begin with, she immediately runs back out of the alley and just like starts looking around.
The phone isn't in place, and she probably could go further, but there's just like a massive crowd of people walking along the streets right in front of her.
Oh no.
The only dark place is the alley right behind her.
Am I here? Okay. Am I right next to the Olympus?
Mm-hmm. In fact, if you just turn to your right, you can see the entrance.
Okay, there we go. She she just looks around and not seeing anywhere else familiar or anyone else familiar, she's just going to slip inside.
She manages to slip through the end. She manages to slip through the door, and on the side that has the fewest people. Not really saying much, but that's what she has to go off of. And she sticks to the side of the building as she just scurries away. She manages to hide behind one of the slot machines, just kind of peeking out, but just trying to shrink back into the corner.
Okay. She's just gonna try and just find a corner and sit and wait and calm down, and probably hide the fact that she's going to be drinking a blood bag.
Right?
A Bloody Mary,
Yeah, totally.
I know.
which is actual blood from a Mary.
I don't know her name.
Real quick, Heaven, I want you to
It's just a
make
blood bag and a Capri
Oh,
Sun
you-
package.
She basically drinks them like she basically drinks them like a Capri Sun.
Alright, and Mary as well, Mary, not Mary. You know, you got me saying Bloody Mary. As you look over the corridor where you saw the small figure move around, you do see her pull out what looks like a packet with a red liquid in it.
She's like trying to hide it. Like she has most of it in like her bag, but it's not all that hidden. Anyone who's just passing would totally not even give it a second thought, but
it's just like in a frenzied state trying to get it's like drink it. Heaven just saw it for a split second.
She should really obscure that more carefully.
Aside from that, as Dream starts to drink from the packet, her nerves start to calm down. Taste of blood starting to soothe her out. Heart's starting to beat slow.
What is Gilgert? Gilgert?
And in just a minute, the doors open as Yoger makes his way in, grumbling and just swearing to himself as before he straightens out, clearing his throat. Yes, ma'am.
You need to calm your temper, Gold. Let me tell you this. You are a reflection of me.
Well, I suppose there's a reason why I'm in the driver's seat. But, yes, ma'am, is there anything that you would wish for me to do?
I want you to go talk to that person over there. I see her sitting and she's drinking from a bloodbath and she's not obscuring it at all. And if we get found out,
What? Oh, blood pack? And
it would not be good.
He looks in the direction, immediately recognizing Dream, and he's like, hell. He looks at you.
What? Who is it?
Bowing his head lightly, and he says, "Excuse me, madam," before he immediately rushes through. And as he gets to Dream, he peeks over the slot machine, looking down at her, scowling. He's like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Wait, so there's Dream and Whisper? Those are two different characters?
Well, Dream's the character. Whisper's the player.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
But yeah, he's just past the slot machine, just like glaring down at Dream.
Please don't. Please don't step in my dice box.
Dream, you hearing this?
Hello?
Okay,
There we go. I hear you now. Hear you now.
My headset just keeps shorting out. It's really annoying.
Technical difficulties are around tonight.
Yep. I usually just deal with it, but okay. Dream just looks. She immediately hides, like actually hides it, and is just kind of like staring up at him, wide-eyed. She's just not saying anything.
Good job hiding it now. He says, looking very irritated. We were able to spot you from a mile away. You could have broken the masquerade like that. Just whispering like angry at you.
I mean, but no one else, like literally no one else is looking at me.
We could see you straight from the entrance. He points right over the entrance. To see Miss Heaven just like looking at them with extreme disinterest.
And I'm just kind of like looking over my glasses.
Did you're that she tries to remember the blur that has been the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, you know who I am. He said,
Did you pick up a phone? Did you pick up a phone? Is mine?
you mean... Hell, he reaches aside, pulls out a phone, and he holds it out to her.
Yes. And she just snatches it.
No, I forgot to.
And just
fussy baby.
calls, immediately calls Dubstep.
Hey guys, I gotta go for the night. I do apologize.
Okay.
That's no problem.
Y'all have a good night, guys.
You too.
Alright, have a good night. I'll probably wrap it up before long.
Alright. Sorry, I didn't get to introduce. Like, we didn't get to meet each other. Everybody, sorry.
But we're on our way to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we could always finish that up on next game.
All right, guys. Good night.
Night.
Have a good night. Well, Ogre just like glares down at her and he says, "Do better to keep that on you much more tightly."
You're right. I should have done it while I was in the alley. This is hard. I'm not usually out like this. This is not okay. She's just like, she immediately turns like away and she's like, pick up.
And after a few more rings, she hears a click, and the voice on the line says, Miss Dream, is that you?
Help.
Where are you exactly?
At the Olympus, in a corner.
Well, that is very fortunate then, Miss
Being
Dream,
grilled by a
because-
very angry man.
Oh dear.
She just looks up to Ogre.
He's looking more and more pissed off.
Help.
Yeah, of course, ma'am. We will be right there momentarily. As the phone call ends. And you look over and you see just Yoger just angrily tapping on the slot machine. And with his other hand, he just like holds it up. He's like, well?
What?
Did you get in touch with him?
Yeah? Who are you?
Someone
Am I supposed to know you?
Weird.
Someone who is trying to keep you from breaking the masquerade.
Yeah, that's important. That's very important.
So stop making a scene.
I wasn't supposed to be here. I was supposed to be. Oh. I totally left him by himself. What happened?
He groans, standing up, just like moving a hand down his face as he looks over to over to Heaven impatiently.
I need to go back. I need to maybe later. Yeah, later.
Look, he says, looking at her. Maybe it would be better if you were with us Kingdred until your friends got here.
You know,
Maybe then.
yeah, sure, okay.
Maybe then you can blend in. He then starts making his way over to Miss Heaven.
See, usually, I don't have to blend in because I'm just not. No one sees me.
And
She's
he
just
just
following.
And as she follows with him, she just hears him grumbling under his breath. Fucking.
Are you unhappy? You should. You seem like you need to, like. Do you need coffee?
One sec. He holds up one hand. As he stands up, clears his throat, cracks his neck, adjusts his jacket, and he walks up and he says, "I've returned, Miss Evan. And we have a guest."
She just immediately shrinks in on herself.
Oh, pardon the intrusion, but it is. He clicks his fingers a little bit. Unavoidable.
She is not meeting her eyes. Staring directly at the
You
floor.
really should be more discreet, dear.
You know, usually I am, but I was having a thing in my. It was. My name is Dream.
No, this with the juice bag. What you need to get a Capri Sun, empty it out, siphon the blood into it, and then you sip from that, and then everybody thinks you're drinking juice, and then we don't get found out. Do you see? This is how I survive. You have to learn to adapt.
Oh yeah, I've done that before. It's a little messy, so usually I just hide. Or I do it in the car.
Get some vinyl shrink wrap or something and turn it into a juice bag or something. There's something that has to be done. You can't just be drinking blood out in the open where people can see.
Usually people don't see me.
And what's going on? What is going on here?
You know, someone was following me, and I was very scared. And then I realized that no one was actually following me, and so I hid in the alley and calmed down, and now I'm here. And I'm very hungry. So I was fixing that.
So you thought someone was following you, but they weren't?
Yeah, they've been following me for a really long time, and I thought it was
or
them,
no
and
one
it
was.
wasn't them. Yes.
Well, who was it? Why are they following you?
Both. I don't think anyone was actually following me this time. I think it was just my brain playing tricks on me. It does that. What's your name?
Well,
my name is Dream.
Yogurt just looks at him. Looks at her in astonishment. It's like, you dare go impose on her like that? Or your place?
What? I'm sorry.
Wow.
What? She's just like looking. Like,
what? You do not impose on Mistress Heaven.
I mean, is asking a name like really that? Okay, Heaven, cool. That's a cool name.
Darling.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Is that?
Yogurt flinches when she
so
says,
confused.
Yogurt visibly flinches when she says that. Yes, madam. Says as he slightly relaxes.
It keeps cutting it. The videos keep cutting out. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I think we're all having technical issues tonight. I'm sorry. Yeah. Could you repeat that, Heaven?
It's honestly the stream is good. I'm not sure what else is going on.
I mean, my mic just keeps cutting out, which is annoying. The video is fine.
The video is fine. It's just probably from our own ends, I guess.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Hmm.
Maybe I'm just gonna get rid of my video. Because it might just be messing with my connection.
So maybe I should just go ahead and put in the end scene right here.
Your dream is just looking confused at both of them. Like she didn't she thought like, so she thought Heaven was saying like "darling" to like get her to shut up. Cause some people like just speak that way, and then she like realizes like that might not actually be what she was
darling
meaning.
is my
and
last name. Heaven is my first name.
She's just utterly confused and staring between the two.
So, Joker looks visibly upset, but upon hearing Heaven's voice, he just visibly calms down, gives off a final sigh, then looks at the two of you and he says, "How about we go find a table? There's a show going on."
Yeah, that would be nice.
Would that be okay,
Usually I'm not
mistress?
alone.
Well, for the time being, you definitely are not alone. Then,
Yeah, cool. That makes me feel so much better.
He then adjusts his jacket and walks through the crowd towards the stage, leading both of you to follow behind him. And we'll probably call the game right there.
Okay.
I hope tonight's game was good. Sorry for all the technical difficulties we're all going through right now.
Yeah, I need to get a new headset, but that's nothing new.
Yeah, I probably should get some new equipment myself. Well, to everyone here who's been with us on the stream, thank you for listening, and we hope you have a good night.
Have a good night.